Hi there, I'm Jim Bradley. I write a blog called Under the Castor Oil Tree, and today I'll tell you what that all means. But there are a couple of other things I want to read to you from this week. Uh, and they're pretty political, the other things, not the castor oil tree, but if you're, if you're a real conservative, you may not want to listen to that. The first one is from Monday, December the 7th. And it's titled Rudy Has COVID. The president's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, has COVID. He's been crisscrossing the nation, yelling out bogus contention that the election was rigged, seldom wearing a mask, infecting who knows how many people. The irony of this time is that Rudy and the president are obsessed with fake claims and seemingly disinterested in the pandemic sweeping the nation. Senator Mitt Romney, one of the few Republicans willing to call the president into account, publicly declared Biden president-elect and blamed the 250,000 COVID deaths on the president's ineptitude in dealing with the crisis. When will more Republicans grow a backbone and state the obvious, as Romney did? And the second one is called USSC. The United States Supreme Court today refused to hear, with no dissents, the last-ditch effort of the current president to overcome the results of a fair, well-run, no-problem election of Joe Biden. It's really all over now, with the Republican governors and several swing states ignoring the current president's pleas to cancel a fair election. Nothing else I can see can be done by the administration to cancel the will of the people. Will the president attend the inauguration of Biden? Probably not. He should, but he probably won't. There's even a scenario where he'll fly to Florida on the inauguration day to try to steal TV coverage from the new president. Who knows? But this we know. On that day, a new president will come into office and have to try to repair the damage this one has done and continues to do in the government of the United States. God help Biden. A lot to do in the midst of a pandemic the current president has ignored while calling fraud about a fair election he lost. And God help us, we need it. This is called Christmas During COVID. This Christmas will be like none I have lived through. I know Christmas was different during the world wars and the 1918 flu, but I didn't live through any of those. We haven't seen in person our son Josh and his wife Kathy and their children Emma, Morgan, and Tegan since last Christmas. They live in Baltimore, and we won't see them this Christmas and until God knows when. We can see Mimi, Tim, and Eleanor from time to time, since you can still travel from Connecticut to New York State, the only state that Connecticut allows us to travel to. We got Eleanor a huge dollhouse that Vern put together, and we'll take it to them in North Branch, New York on December 23rd. I have a Zoom church at 5, so I don't know when we'll get to John's. We did most Christmas shopping online, though Vern still goes to Marshall's a couple of times. Once she complained and left because some of the customers weren't wearing masks. But no large family gatherings and no family with us. Weird beyond imagining. but the way it is. Wear a mask, keep distance, wash your hands, and have a Merry Christmas. Please do. Give thanks for the world, that the world will be growing brighter each day after Christmas, and the vaccine may be on the way. Let hope thrive in this oh so strange time. Excuse me. Every time we have a cluster council meeting, we end with a night prayer. I believe it is from the New Zealand prayer book. Try it yourself. It brings peace and hope close to hand. Night prayer. Lord, it is night. The night is for stillness. Let us be still in the presence of the Lord. It is night after a long day. What has been done has been done. What has not been done has not been done. Let it be. The night is dark. Let our fears of the darkness of the world and of our own lives rest in you. The night is quiet. Let the quietness of your peace enfold us, all dear to us, and those who have no peace. The night heralds the dawn. Let us look expectantly to a new day, new joys, new possibilities. In your name we pray. Amen. And this is what I promised at the beginning. Every once in a while, I reprint my first post. This is one of those times just to let you know where I'm coming from on this blog. It's called My First Post. Sitting under the Castor oil tree, March 7th, 2009. The character in the Bible I have always been drawn to is Jonah. I identify with his story. Like Jonah, I have experienced being taken where I didn't want to go by God. And I've been disgruntled by the way things went. The belly of an old fish isn't a pleasant means of travel either. The story ends, in case you don't know it, with Jonah upset and complaining on a hillside over the city of Nineveh, which God has saved through Jonah. Jonah didn't want to go there to start with, hence the ride in the fish's belly, and predicted that God would save the city, though it should have been destroyed for its wickedness. You dragged me halfway around the world, he tells God, and didn't destroy the city. I knew it would turn out this way. I'm angry, so angry I could die. God causes a tree to grow to shade Jonah from the sun. Scholars think it might have been a castor oil tree. The implications are astonishing. Then God sends a worm to kill the tree. Well, that sets Jonah off. How dare you kill my tree, he challenges the Creator. I'm so angry I could die. And God simply reminds him that he is upset at the death of a tree he didn't plant or nurture, and yet he doesn't see the value of saving all the people of the great city Nineveh, along with their cattle and beasts. And there the story ends. No resolution. Jonah is simply left to ponder all that. There's no sequel either, no Jonah 2 or Jonah the next chapter. Nothing like that. It's just Jonah sitting under the bare branches of a dead tree, pondering. What I want to do is use this blog to simply do that, ponder about things. I've been an Episcopal priest for over 30 years. I'm approaching a time to retire, and I've got a lot of pondering left to do about God, about the church, about religion, about life and death and everything involved in that. Before the big fish swallowed me and carried me to my own Nineveh, ordination in the Episcopal Church, I had intended a vastly different life. I was going to write the great American novel, for one thing, and get a PhD in American literature and disappear into some small liberal arts college, most likely in the mid-Atlantic states, and teach people like me, rural people, Appalachians and Southerners, simple people, deep thinkers, though slow talkers. Lovely for all of that. I was going to teach them to love words and to write words themselves. God, I suppose, even though I ponder that, had other ideas. And I ended up spending the lion's share of my priesthood in the wilds of two cities in Connecticut, of all places, among tribes so foreign to me, I scarcely understood their language and whose customs confounded me. I found myself often among people, the Episcopal cult, who made me anxious by their very being, which is why I stuck to urban churches. I suppose being a priest in Greenwich would have sent me into some form of shock, as I would have driven them to hypertension at the least. I'm one who ponders quite a bit and hope this might be a way to ponder in print for anyone else who might be leaning in that direction to read. Ever so often, someone calls my bluff when I go into my I'm just a boy from the mountains of West Virginia person. And I know they're right. I lived too long among the heathens of New England to be able to avoid absorbing some of their alien custom and ways of thinking. Plus, I've been involved in too much education to pretend to be a rube from the hills. But I do from time to time, miss that boy who grew up in a part of the world as foreign as Albania to most people, where the lush and endless mountains pressed down so majestically that there were few places where I lived that were flat in an area wider than a football field. That boy knew secrets I am only beginning, having entered my sixth decade of the danger of the journey toward the lover of souls to remember and cherish. My maternal grandmother, who had as much influence on me as anyone I know, used to say, Jimmy, don't get above your raisin. I probably have done that in more ways than I'm able to recognize. But I ponder that part of me, buried deeply below layer after layer of living, as the mountains were layer after layer of long ago life. Sometimes I get a fleeting glimpse of him, running madly into the woods that surrounded him on all sides, spending hours seeking paths through the deep tangles of forest, climbing upward, ever upward, until he found a place to sit and look down on the little town where he lived, spread out like a toy village to him, so he could ponder, alone and undisturbed, for a while. When I was in high school, I wrote a regular column for the school paper called The Outsider. I've always felt just a little beyond the fringe wherever I was. I've watched much more than I've participated, and I've pondered many things. So what I decided to do is sit here on the hillside for a while, beside the ruins of the Castor oil trade, and ponder some more. And if you wish, share my ponderings with you, whoever you are out there in cyberland. Two caveats. I'm pretty much a Luddite when it comes to technology, probably smart enough to learn about it, but never very interested. So this blog is an adventure for me. My friend Sandy is helping me, so it shouldn't be too much of a mess. Secondly, I've realized writing this that there is no spell check on my blog. Either I can get a dictionary or ask your forgiveness for my spelling. I'm a magna cum laude Phi Beta Kappa English major who never could conquer spelling all the words I long to write. I guess I'll just have to ask for you to forgive me. I'm Jim Bradley. It's been a pleasure to be with you on this December day. And I hope your life is going well. I hope you're safe. Please do the rules that we've been asked to do so that we might, in some way, until a vaccine comes, contain the spread of this horrible virus. Be well and stay well. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.